So I can give you some updates on injuries. Tuck was maintenance, so he's fine. I just de-emphasized practice with him today. Oki will not be on the trip, but he looked good in practice and is feeling better every day. So I would expect him within that next game or two. So he's close. Zemgus is back full, and so is Mitzi. I was happy with his practice today. I haven't talked to him after, but from what I saw, he looked good. So he's likely to go tomorrow. And Butcher didn't know a couple days ago how he'd feel day to day with that injury because it's a pain tolerance. And obviously, him on the ice today looked like he moved fine, which is good news. And I'll find out more on him, but he's, I would say, very close as well, if not ready to go.
Don, you've got a full half season left here. Just how important is that for Middlestat to really show that he's healthy and get a lot out of this half season since he's basically missed the whole first half?
Yeah, it is. He kind of exemplifies our team. We need to see everybody take the next step now because I mentioned, when you don't have the depth, you have Thompson line playing against the top D every game. Now you have Middlestat in there and potentially, Middlestat, Cousins, Thompson in there. It's gonna make room for everybody to cash in more, is what should happen, and we need to see that. We need to push for that. So yes, Middlestat is obvious. He's played 3 games out of 40, I guess is what it is. So he's healthy now. He's feeling strong now. I would imagine it's going to take him a couple games to get into the swing of things, and. As I say often, we've got to help him, put him in a spot to be successful on the coaching side and the team side, which we will. We don't know our lines. The lines have moved around so much. Tuck, Skinner, and Thompson have been a real good number 1 line the last little bit. We'll see how things go and what we need to do because we know Mitzi is, we potentially have 1 A, B, and C centerman between Cousins, Middlestat, and Thompson. And obviously we need to fit wingers and chemistry in there, and we'll be looking at that to help Mitzi in the process here.
I was just looking, my first thought was that Krebs is a guy who likes to pass and is a playmaker, and Middlestat is who likes to pass and is a playmaker. So is that things that you're thinking of too as you're trying to?
Yeah, you might have noticed today Krebs was on the wing with Middlestat, and Krebs is very creative. Mitzi's a driver. I mean, Mitzi demands of his line mates and teammates. He's a demanding guy. As a coach, he's kind of one of those dream players because as a coach you gotta be pushing guys all you can, and when you have a player that pushes his own line mates or his teammates, it's really nice as a coach. And he's a big leader in that category. Okposo's that way. He just doesn't settle for mediocrity. He expects success. Mitzi does, and so you need to provide him with. And I think Krebs has the potential with his creativity and the way they think the game, they process the game. And Krebs is an extremely determined guy. He settles for nothing less than, almost perfection. So it's interesting. I'm curious to see how they do, if they can develop some chemistry. I thought Krebs looked really good on the wing the other night, and we'll see. Again, we'll be gauging as everyone else is watching. We're watching as coaches too on this.
When you say he demands of his line mates, is that through the way he's playing in this example, or is that like talking to guys in that?
Mitzi just expects to win. You see him. There were multiple incidents. I saw him instances last year where, the top players on the other team, he went after him as he's going in the bench, and on various teams in our division. He's aggressive in mindset. He's got an extremely high personal standard, and he expects to be better than the guy that he lines up across from. I mean, he is a true competitor. It's not he's trying to score. Of course he is. Trying to make plays. Of course he is. But he wants to be better than the guy that he lines up across against, and that's different than a lot of guys. And it's something that when he comes in the lineup is something that you can't have enough of, really, and that pushes everybody else around him. So he was. I remember the game before he got re-injured there. we had pulled the goalie, and he was extremely vocal 6-on-5. He did not like what we didn't fail to execute, and he let it be known when he came back to the bench. It's his second game. It might have been his first game back at that point. But again, his standard is he will not accept lack of success, and that's what we need.
Sorry, we're done.
No.
Oh, you will?
No, not at all, Bill.
Oh.
Yeah. Mumbling, but not talking.
What's been some, like when you look at the group today versus when you gathered with her 4 months ago, what's like some positive growth you see within the group that tells you that you're on the right track, that things are progressing?
Yeah, if I look at our group, I look at 12 months ago. We had Montour, McCabe, Hall, probably Stahl, Eichel, Reinhardt, Ristolainen, all on our roster. And, we don't have any of those guys. And so I think back a year ago when I talked about I was coaching then if I was going to have the team in the future. And it was really important to empower these guys, but to get them to grab a hold of that empowerment and feel like they could fill those slots as bona fide first line or second line NHL players or first pairing D. Again, because you minus all those players, and we haven't even talked about Ullmark or the goaltending situation. And so for our guys to continue to progress in what many instances over years and years that you watch, you thrust that many young players with limited experience into this situation, everybody says it, the buzzword, lose confidence. And our guys have not lost confidence. It's been fuel for them. It's enhanced their belief system in one another and what we're doing and where we're going. And so that is what I've really liked the most, is continual forward progress. The results aren't what we want, but that can be really misleading and confusing as a coach, because you start ripping things apart, and your panic hits in, you start screaming, yelling, whatever. But these guys have given us no reason to panic. They are engaged in a process of continual progress, and that's what I like most out of our group. And they're doing it together. They like doing it together. I can switch lines, and nobody's complaining. I could flip wingers right now. I could flip guys to different positions, and they believe in their ability to achieve wherever it is. Like I said, the results aren't there yet, but we haven't even been healthy yet. So to battle through this and stay close, you're always close, and then it turns and everything becomes easy. And we're not to that point yet, but we're going to get there. And I think the guys have shown that to me. So that's what I'm happy for most, the psychology of it.
As a coach in professional sports, knowing all that goes into it, how do you process that football game?
It's funny you say that, Mike, because I had a tough time sleeping thinking of that. I mean, the preparation that goes in. I watched the LA game first, and it was amazing. The come all the way back, and then the plays leading to the field goal. I mean, I don't know the details and intricacies of football, but when I watched that Tampa Rams game, I just couldn't believe what the coaches must feel. And obviously, same in the Bills game. A lot of hours of work, and yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I lost sleep thinking about it, because it's you put in that much work, and you think of the LA game, the snap where they weren't even ready. And it's that crucial of a moment. And those are incredible athletes. And you see those, I mean, I've said it to you guys many times, it's just part of sports. You got to overcome adversity, overcome negativism, overcome doubt. Those are the teams that achieve. And, you saw a lot of craziness yesterday.
How do you relive, when you go through a game, I know after it, you probably relive parts of it, and it's so much slower when it's over. When you're in the moment, in any sport, how do you get the game as a coach to kind of slow down when it starts getting really crazy?
It's so much easier on the bench. It's so much easier when you have gear on and you're the athlete. It's much harder as you distance away, because you don't have any control. When you're in it, you feel like you have some sense of control, even though it is chaotic, and it can be very chaotic at times. You feel, okay, if we can just regain this or grab this focus now, we can get back to our game, or we can achieve within the context of the chaos that's going on. So you do feel like there is still some control because you've done it. It's when you're not part of it. It's a big difference for me. Obviously, at times being a scout, you had no control. You're just sitting and watching, or you're watching your family play and you get no control. But when you're in there, you can talk about adjustments, you can communicate, and you don't feel the pressure. You feel like, let's go. There's a resolution here. There's a solution here, and you actually get more excited about it. And that's, you see those moments. That's the difference. We talk about amazing athletes, and we talk about Dolls is going to the All-Star game. He's in that category. The moments of pressure, those elite athletes are like, give me the puck, give me the ball, and sometimes the guys down your roster are like, I don't want the puck right now. I just want to get rid of the puck right now because I don't want that responsibility. And those moments, you see all these incredible plays late in the games in all sports because you have that separation. The elite athlete wants it, and the guy that's not been an elite athlete his whole professional career hesitates just a slightly more, and it gives that elite athlete that extra moment of second time, and they make a brilliant play. And it's always at the peak of pressure. You see that separation goes from here, and the elite athlete takes a step up, and the other athlete takes a moment of hesitation. It's all that's needed for some exceptional plays, and you see it every night in sports, and certainly in hockey.
But your philosophy, in your sport, you're in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Series, and both teams gave it their all.
I like your thinking.
You lose in triple overtime, and you lose the series, and both teams gave everything they had. How do you approach it? Do you sit back in the offseason? Do you micromanage?
That is misery at its highest level.
But do you say, what could I have done different? Or do players say, what could I have done different to make one more play to make that? Is that the way you guys
always
think?
You as a coach, you second guess. Everybody second guesses coaches anyways. You watch the game, you love your team, you're going to second guess when things don't go right. And coaches, you always second guess. You second guess everything. It's your job to second guess what you did. Should I have done this? Do I need to do that? Did I communicate to Middlestead well enough? Did I not? What did we do in practice yesterday? Did it help? Did it hurt? What did I say in the pregame meeting? What did I say in between periods? So you're always inventorying, taking in what you did, and obviously you consider what you didn't do in situations that you didn't win. That's why winning is so exhilarating. It almost validates decisions you made. If you think of it that way, and for me, it's draining when and exhausting when you don't win, especially the closer you are to a championship. Not an experience you want to relive or live.
Has anyone had a chance to reach out to Malcolm? I know it was a tough weekend for his family, and they want to change it by speaking.
Kevin did, and he had surgery a couple days ago. I'm obviously thought about him quite a bit. I'm going to connect with him as soon as I can here. But yeah, it's Kevin reached out to him and had a good conversation with him, and we haven't seen him because he's been out, but I'm looking forward to connecting with him, and certainly hope he's doing well on both fronts, obviously family and with his surgery.
How can people change?
Oh,
I know it's a tough question.
it is sad, disturbing. I do believe that the rallying of people, and unfortunate incidents that happen, is really inspiring and motivating, and influential, very positive, influential. I think from a league standpoint, from a hockey standpoint, I don't think it's much less. I feel of there's issues that have to be dealt with, but it's a reflection of the person or the people. I think the sport is healthy in response, is healthy in the fact they care and they, you know, we all want to do the right things. It's learning how to do the right things better. I think is what we're all as a society going through in a you know, a sport, and but it's unfortunate that incidents happen, and I guess you know, you hope for, in this sake, obviously, you know, Malcolm and his family, that they can get through it and feel the, you know, the love, support from so many people in hockey that are really good people and don't have any time of day for this type of thing.